guys overseas?
I've had the opportunity 2 other times to take teams at Penn, actually, to Italy and Spain. I don't know if they appreciate it as much today as they will 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I think the opportunity to get together as a basketball group is important, but it's equally as important for the educational and the cultural piece of just learning a new language for a few weeks, a few days. And just learning a new culture. So it's been fun to put it all together. I'm sure it'll be a great trip for us in many, many ways.
For the basketball side of it, you have a lot of new guys. How critical will this extra time to work with them be, and how important will it be?
Well, that's one of the reasons why you do it. I mean, this is a critical year for us because we have a lot of inexperienced guys who haven't had that much of a chance to play college basketball. So this will get us an opportunity to practice a little bit with them, and then also have some different competition as we go into our regular practices late September, early October.
What's the most important thing that you guys can work on in Italy? Is it the practices, is it the games, or is it just immersing your players in coaching? Which is the most important?
Yeah, I don't know that I would categorize them. I'm not Coach Martelli. I saw here where he categorized them. It's all important. It's great to get everybody together. The bonding experience is important. Seeing a different country and different cultures. So I think it's all critical to the education that these guys get. So I'm grateful to Temple for allowing us to make this trip.
Coach, what are you looking for from the 3 freshmen over these next 10 practices before you get ready to go to Europe? What are you going to be looking for from them on the court?
Well, we've been lucky enough now to practice over the last couple of weeks, just an hour a day, 2 days a week. But it's fun to watch them try to adjust to the college game. Everybody's a little bigger, a little faster, a little longer. And so it's that kind of thing. Just make the adjustment and don't try to do too much. Just do what you can do and be as successful as you can be.
And how are you feeling confidence-wise? You know, you lost 5 really important seniors from last season. So how are you feeling about this young team, 11-man roster, 3 freshmen, and Jalen Bond, who's not eligible this season? But how are you feeling right now as where the team stands?
Well, I appreciate the work ethic that these guys have brought to the table already. It's what we do in college basketball. You say goodbye to a number of players per year that are so instrumental in helping you be as successful as you can be. So this is a new group, but a lot of the fun that college coaches have is putting a new group together and seeing where they can go. So we're apprehensive, but we're excited.
Who are going to be your leaders in your offensive end after you lost these 5 guys? Who are you looking for to be the guys that are going to step up this season?
Well, we're going to have to do it sort of by committee. Anthony Lee is going to have to step up and really score for us this year. Dalton Pepper, Will Cummings, I can go on and on. Quentin DeCozy is going to have to really score for us. It's really a critical year for us in so many ways. So we need everybody.
Fran, do you notice a difference in Anthony and Will? In their first 2 years, you know, they're sort of being led by Khalees and the other guys, but now they're the guys who have been there the longest. Do you notice a little bit of change in how they're behaving, how they're
Sure. I think they're working hard at trying to be as good a leader as they can be, in addition to be as good a basketball player as they can. So it's a new year for them. They don't have the veteran leadership around them. They are the veteran leadership, and they have the job to perform, and hopefully they'll do it very well.
What's the key for Dalton getting consistent? Is it confidence with him? Because you see flashes where you know he can play and he has the talent.
I don't know that I have the answer for that. It's all within Dalton, and he's got every physical capability you could want. He's strong, he's fast, he's tough, he's a good jump shooter. There's a lot of really good things that he has. He just needs to put it all together. And certainly I'm saying to him, this is it. This is the year that you have to have because you're so important to us.
What about with Devontae? What have you seen? Just played a few minutes last year. What have you seen from him over summer?
He's gotten better. I think that's the key to it. He's gotten stronger, gotten more confident, gotten more understanding of what his role is. We need him to defend and rebound, but we also need him to finish plays at the rim as well. He's got a really good knack for using the backboard. But before you can do that, you got to catch it. You got to get yourself to a spot that you can feel confident you can make that shot. So he's doing well.
One of the practices I was at last week, it looked like Will and Josh were really going at it, and that looks like a battle that's kind of fun to watch. What have you just seen from that, and what could Josh possibly do for you guys this year?
He can do a lot. to answer the first question, the last question first, he can do a lot for us. He's very competitive, very long, good defender, can get in the lane and make plays. Is starting to make shots on a consistent basis. That may be our deepest position at this point, because those two guys are playing hard against one another, and we can play them together too. So that'll be nice.
What does Will have to do? What's the next step for him this year to become a better basketball player?
Well, I think he needs to lead. I think that's the biggest issue for him. Be as good a leader as you can be. He's not the most boisterous guy, but he has to talk a little bit more. He's got to be a great defender, and he's got to get himself into the lane and make plays and make shots. He's got a great opportunity here this year. It's sort of, in many ways, his team, and he needs to really step up.
A lot of people are going to focus on what you lost, but is there a belief amongst the guys, because Khalif and Ramon and Scooty, a lot of those guys have gone from hardly playing as freshmen, and then they make that progression they need to make as a sophomore. So is there a belief among the team, like, hey, we've still got a chance to be okay here with Quentin, with Daniel, with Devontae, because now they just have to be the next group of guys that do that. I know it's easier said than done, but is that kind of what the guys are thinking here, to think that they could be good and go
Well,
back?
I hope so. I hope that they're confident that now it's their time, and they've waited. They've got frustrated like everybody else does when you don't get those immediate minutes or the great self-satisfaction right away. It's now their time, so we don't need to talk about it anymore. We need to perform.
With the run that LaSalle had last year in the postseason, and I guess after losing these 5 guys, is there any pressure on Temple right now to kind of get back to be the better team in the city, or is there any pressure to be against the other teams in the city?
I think every year there's pressure within the team to be as good as you can be. And there's a lot of those banners up there that say that we went to the NCAA tournament the last 6 years. The issue is, are we going to be able to get back? So we'll see. That's the chore for this particular group.
How's it looking right now? Do you think you're going to be better?
I thought one bit about it at a time. You know what I'm thinking about? Is trying to do the best we can do today to be the best team we can be, and learn how to play with one another.
Fran, who do you guys play against over there when you go to Europe? Is it
There are
pro
4 pro teams, yes.
Okay.
4 pro teams, and some will be better than others, older than others, more prepared than others. But it'll be a great test for us, and what a great opportunity this is.
What's jumped out at you just from the practices that you've had so far? Like, who's playing well? Is anybody? I know it's really early, but anybody that's just caught your eye, that's really showed you something?
You mentioned Josh before. His competitiveness, which I knew because I studied him in high school for a couple of years, has been outstanding. Mark Williams has done a good job. Kyle Green has done a good job. So those guys have stepped in right away and showed no fear, and just they want to play.
With the FIBA rules, legal
Yes.
shot clock, and are they switching the court, everything?
Switching them.
Like shorten the court or lengthen the dimensions in the court?
The lane will be wider. So it's a pro lane that they use, and it's basically the NBA rules that they've sort of adopted now. But we'll get called for travel way more than we ever do here in the United States. But that'll be part of that is a lesson to be learned, like adjust to the game and play through the officials' call. They're gonna call some things that we're not used to, but again, you can learn from that.
Fran, switching gears just a little bit. Jesse Morgan had his NCAA here on Monday. Obviously, things didn't work out his way. Any comment on it?
Yeah, we're not allowed to comment.
Coach, what are you looking forward to most about being over in Europe, whether it be about working with the team or just getting them to experience culture over there? What's something that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I think both things. I think the ability for us to take our team and put it together earlier than we normally do is important. But just getting them to bond and again see a different culture. I think these guys are not used to this. We'll make sure that please and thank you is said in the proper way in French and Italian. But just understand that we're in somebody else's country, and we will be very respectful and very much understanding of a different way of life.
What do you need to see next from Quentin and Dan? Because they were in, sometimes freshmen don't play as much, but I mean, Q was on the floor in the closing seconds in the Syracuse game. Dan had some good minutes at Fordham. So they got a taste of what it was like. What do you need to see from them over the summer? You know the talent's there. What do they need to work on?
Yeah, tremendous growth. They need to grow. They need to grow as men. They need to grow as basketball players. And they need to grow as teammates and see that, you know what, as a freshman I didn't get that many opportunities. Now I'm being granted this chance to play some really good, top quality college basketball. And am I ready? And if I'm not ready, how hard am I going to work to get ready?
What about the schedule this year when you get to go against Louisville twice, Cincy?
Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult schedule for us, but that's the challenge always. And I think if you're a college basketball player, this is what you want. And it's up to us to now react to that schedule.
You mentioned Mark earlier. If you had to describe his game to somebody who'd never seen him play before, what would you say? Because I know I've heard that he can step out and shoot it too, but can play inside.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything. He hasn't shot it well yet, but I think that's just getting used to the maybe a little longer three-point line and trying to do things that he's not quite yet ready to do. But I've been very impressed with his knowledge of the game and how good he wants to be.
You're a little more excited than usual just because you have a younger team you've had in years past, more confidence.
You know, I think given the jobs that we have, nobody's got a better job than that. And to try to put teams together is always the most fun. And it's fun when you don't know what you're going to get. For example, this year there's a lot of unknowns, or the last couple years when we had a lot of veteran guys. There's some unknowns in the veteran piece too. So every year is different, every game is different, every possession is different. So it's something. Am I excited about it? Yeah, it's just we have great jobs.
That's good. I'll bring over Will first, and we're good.
Thanks, man.
Let me get Will first. I already got Anthony's here and Josh. I'll
Okay.
grab Will over here, and then we'll kind of get it going. Hey, Will. Thanks, Tom. See, there's no cleats that give the shoulder burden anymore. You know, it's just that's up to you now.
Lovely.
Oh, for sure.
Well, of all the summers that you guys could be going over to Europe to play, this would seem like a great time because of all the new guys. How important is this going to be for you guys?
Oh, it's going to be very important. Just we got a lot of young guys this year, so just it's big to get them experience because they haven't really got any game experience under them. So it's a great opportunity for all of us, pretty much, just to go overseas, get games under us, get chemistry playing with each other, and just take it as an overall learning experience. Just playing together as a team and learning our weaknesses and strengths as a group. That'd be a good experience.
What have you seen so far from? You guys have been able to practice before this. What stands out to you? Who's playing well? What are you guys doing well? What do you still need to work on?
Oh, yeah, everybody's playing pretty well. All the freshmen, they're coming in doing what we expect them to do, play hard with defensive end, and just be a pest on defense. I know Mark, JB, Josh Brown, and Kyle. Kyle's out a little bit early, but he's fitting in pretty well. So they're all doing great jobs. They're learning the sets. We're starting to put in a lot more offense and stuff. So just doing what we expect from them, playing hard defense and making the right decisions on offense and putting the ball in the basket when we need them to also.
Is this your first time playing overseas when you got to Italy?
Well, my freshman year we went to Puerto Rico and we played in the preseason tournament there. So you might count that, but as far as preseason like Europe, this is the first time.
So what are your general expectations going into Italy?
To win. We played 4 games. I'm expecting to win all 4. I'm speaking for myself, but as a group, we expect to go over there and win. We're not going just to take a sightseeing trip in Europe. We're going to win, then make sure we see all the different places.
So you don't want to learn the Italian?
Well, I'm sure it's going to be fun to learn Italian and see all the sights and stuff, but the main focus is to get the 4 wins that we are going to do.
Well, you try something to eat?
I'm just hoping so I won't lose weight, so I guess pizza's going to be the big thing over there in pasta, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Will, how important for you is it to step up as a leader this year after losing so many leaders?
It's going to be big. I know, just me coming as a player, it's kind of a lot depending on me and how I play. It's going to how far the team goes. So just knowing I have a greater role this year and just making sure that I step up and do what the guys need me to do and make the plays they need me to make. Keeping everybody involved and lead the team as a vocal leader and on the court and off the court.
What is that the leadership thing? Like talk about a lot of guys say, oh, this guy's gonna be that. What does it mean? Like how does that? Are guys looking to you? Are you the one getting everybody together for workouts and stuff? What is it? How does that actually happen?
It means everything as far as off the court and on the court. Off the court as far as getting guys together, hanging out in our downtime, making sure we're bonding together off the court, making sure guys are going to class, doing work. That's the part of leader being off the court. And on the court, just making sure everybody's coming to practice prepared and nobody's really slacking in practice and making sure we're vocal, calling ourselves on defense, make sure everybody's focused and not really just mess around in practice because this year we have a lot of work to do to make sure we're contenders.
What about being a leader that you learn from being quiet and older guys in this team?
I would say the person I learned from the most was Scooty Randall. He was the most vocal leader that we've had that I've been around in my 2 years here. So just learning from him how to be a vocal leader and just make sure you demand things from guys and step up and do it yourself. That's how you pretty much be a leader.
So with him gone, are the other guys kind of naturally looking to you and Anthony? Do they kind of naturally follow you? Is that
that's definitely what's been going on so far, what I've read. So just being able to recognize that and make sure I'm doing the right things to show them, set good examples for them, and just be a leader that coach needs to be.
What's next for you as a player? Like, what are you working on? What do you think you need to get better at?
Just being more aggressive. I know the past 2 years I wasn't that aggressive. Just kind of playing behind Khalif and Moan and Juan and stuff. So this year I'm coming out being more aggressive and make sure I'm leading the team and doing everything, scoring, rebounding, assisting, getting everybody involved. Just making sure that we win games. That's the most important thing.
There were times last year where it looked like you could take almost anybody off the dribble and look like you almost kind of surprised yourself. Sometimes when you get to the rim and finish, sometimes you wouldn't. Is that part of being more aggressive, like throwing down a dunk and finishing with the
just playing more freely, being aggressive. Just not really like now. I really have older guys above me. I'm one of the older guys in the team, so it's not really I have to think of I have to get this guy involved and just I will just play my game and when you be aggressive, everything opens up. You'll get a lot more assists. You'll score the ball more. Just focus on being aggressive the whole game, and that's gonna take care of everything.
How do you think you stack up against other guards in the city right now?
Oh, I think I'm right there. So I'm not saying anybody's better than me. I'm not gonna say anybody's like worse than me. I'm just saying I'm a pretender for one of the best guys in the city.
What has Josh brought out in you? Some of the practices I've seen, that looks like the clear. You notice it. Looks like he's bringing out the best in you, and vice versa. What's it like to play against him?
Oh, definitely. He's a young guy, so he has a lot of energy. He's coming out of high school, so I'm 2 years into it. Got a lot of weights in me and all the banged up and stuff. But he's a great guy to play against. He brings a lot of energy. He's gonna be you on defense. He's bringing his best. I mean, cause I can't really relax on offense. Just making sure I take it to him. I'm gonna take it to him on defense too. So just being a vet and knowing the different tricks and stuff, how to steal the ball from him. So he's learned a lot from the first couple weeks.
That was his reputation coming out of high school. Good perimeter defender. It was kind of your reputation too. What specifically does he do well on defense?
I'd say he just applies pressure, but there's a lot of things to learn. Like playing defense in practice and playing defense in the games is totally different. Like experience, just because on defense in practice you know like the plays that you're running, you know what the guy's going to do. But in the game, you have no idea what the offensive player is going to do. You don't know screens coming, anything like that. So just with him, he's a great on-ball defender. He's going to pressure you 94 feet. That's just one thing he does and it takes pride in it too.
You've been through what Quentin, Daniel, and Devontae are going to go through, and that you didn't play much as a freshman. You played a lot as a sophomore. What do they need to do to kind of just adjust to that? Because they have to play a lot this year. What's the biggest piece to that adjustment?
I would say my advice to them just to always be aggressive. Don't change your game. Just be aggressive and stay positive. That's the biggest I would say advice I can give them through my experience from my first 2 years. Just always play aggressive, listen to coach, and play hard on defense, and just stay aggressive throughout the whole game. Don't really change how you play.
What's the key for Dalton Pepper? Everybody who's seen him play knows he can play. He's got a lot of talent. It looks like a lot of people say maybe it's his confidence. Is that it?
You know, to ask Dalton, I'm not really sure, but I know from playing with him for the past two years, he's a good player. So he can do a lot of things on the court that a lot of people can't do. So just with him, you have to talk to him and ask him. But I think he's gonna make a big impact this year too.
When you're a point guard, how do you balance out when you look for your shot and when you look to be a facilitator?
It's just all knowing the flow of the game and knowing when guys are making shots and when it's time for your time to step up and make shots. It's kind of just a sense that comes into play. Just knowing when your team's looking at you and when they're kind of tired, looking at you to make a play and get them back into the game.
A lot of people are going to talk about what you guys have lost, 5 guys leaving, but this program's been through this before where they lose guys, maybe not this many, where the freshmen have to make that progression. Is there a sense with the team like we're going to be okay because we've been through this before?
I mean, this happens every year. Every year, everybody's saying, "Oh, Timber's losing 5 players. They're not going to be as good as next year. Timber's losing 5 players, not going to be as good as last year." So we're just coming up with an optimistic attitude and staying positive. We're just going to work hard every day like we did last year and prove everybody wrong.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you.